Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with that BYOP. I haven't done one of these in a while, but I wanted to post one and do a BYOP for Valentine's Day. So I'm posting this one on the 14th, so on Valentine's Day, and I do want to create just a color story. I'm filming this a couple of days ahead of time, and it's just one that I want to play around with this month, maybe even wear on Valentine's Day. So that's my aim today. It's going to be quite a pink tone palette, I believe, but I'm excited to play around with it. But before I jump into the video itself, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. Let's jump into the video. So before we get into eyeshadows, I just want to talk about my nails quickly because I'm so proud of them. So basically, I saw nails like this on Leia's channel, so Awesome Empties. I saw her have nails like this and I got so inspired and I wanted to create it myself. So I did actually do this manicure myself. I used kind of gel polish for the red and I did this kind of design and I'm so happy with it. I've never done any nail design like this before. So yeah, very pleased, but that's what I wanted to tell you. So I want to just give a shout out to Leia because she gave me the inspiration for my nails. Anyway, let's move into my BYOP. We have the palette right here. So our plan is to fit 9 round shadows as well as 3 clear eyeshadows, and that will be my little palette. So let me start pulling out some shades. So first up we have my clear palette right here. So we're gonna go through these to see if I want to pull anything in. So I'm gonna have a look and start brainstorming what I want to pull in, and yeah, see what I want to play with. So a shadow that is standing out to me right like initially is this one right here, which is one of their Jewel Lights, I believe. This one is the shade Kiln Light, which is like a pinky red, and yeah, I think this one is going to be really fun to play with, so I think I'm going to pull this one in for the first shade. Otherwise in this one I think there's nothing else really that I want to pull in, so that's going to be the only shade from this palette. So here we have the second palette, and there's definitely a few contenders for shades. Fiona has a lot of pink shadows, as you can see here on the top. So I do want to pull in some of those. Another one that I'm staring at is this one here. This one might be one of the newer ones. This is the shade, yes, it is Rosarium, which is a beautiful shade, but it's too similar to Kiln Light. They're definitely different. And you know what? I actually prefer the new ones. So I'm going to take back Kiln Light and pull in Rosarium, which is here, because it has like a more of a pink to red to orange shift, and I think that's just even more Valentine. So I'm going to pull that one in and put back Kiln Light. On top of that, I have some shades here on top. The first one is this one here, which is Spotlight, I believe, and I think that one is such a beautiful kind of pink tone. But I do also have other pink tones. This one should be Sunbeam. I really like that one too. Do want to pull that one in. We also have this one, which is more of a cool toned pink. No. I would pull in Spotlight, but I want to pull in other shades like that. So I'm still deciding. I think I'm going to do is just pull in Sunbeam, because I like that shade a lot. So that can go in, and that's going to be the second shade. I think that's going to be it for this palette too. So we can only fit one more shade, and we have the last kind of shadows here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull in an iridescent shade, and the one that I'm thinking of is Ray, which I might not even have in this palette actually. That's Halo. Maybe I should pull in this one, which is a newer one. That is one of their series 3 iridescents. It's one of the newest shades that came out for the Christmas launch. But this one would be fun to play with. This is the shade Light Fast, and I think that would be a fun iridescent to play around with. It's also pink leaning, so I think that is going to be fun. So we have our 3 Cleona shades. Next up here we have some mauve tones, and I think some of those might be nice to round off the palette with. I'm looking at like these kind of deeper shades. Maybe one of those would be nice if I want to then make more like a neutral look. This one is from Davina. I thought this one was from Sydney Grace, but it's a nice shade and I want to play around with this one. It's very new to my collection. This is Desma from Davina, so I'm going to pull that one in as one of the shades. I'm going to rearrange the palette later, but that's first. Is there anything else I want to pull in? Any iridescent shades maybe? I mean, this one here is a beautiful eyeshadow too. Also falls into that like neutralness. This is the shade Love Letter from the Pastel Roses. Maybe I want to pull that one in too for like more of a neutral row. But I think that's going to be it for this palette now. I'm thinking about maybe adding one of these like lighter kind of pinks. Oh, that one is actually really pretty. Which shade is this? This is Embrace from Sydney Grace. I think that makes a really pretty palette with those three. So I think I'm going to pull in that one too. And that's going to be it for like a mauve row. So let's go into the bigger palettes here. The first one is my green and yellow palette, so I'm not going to have anything from this palette. And by the way, if you didn't see my video, it was 2 videos ago, I did my reorganization of all my single palettes, so you can check that out if you want to see how I rearranged all of these. But yeah, this is my green and yellow palettes. Don't want anything from this one. Then we have my green into blues. Again, I don't think there's anything in this palette that I want for this round, so I'm going to put that away. However, here we have my purple and pinks, which I definitely want to pull in some shades from. First up, this really, really bright pink is just saying my name. That is very Valentine's, and this is the shade Terraverse from Terra Moons. That's definitely going to come in. I was thinking also for maybe like a brighter pink, like lighter pink like this. That's what I was originally thinking instead of this one, the kind of more mauve tone here. But which one do I want to pull in? I do think this one is a fun one, so I'm going to pull that one in for like a brighter shade and then maybe a shimmer in between. But which one should I do? This one is also really pretty for like a shimmer. What shade is this? This is from Davina, I believe. Sweet Slush. That is really pretty. It's more of a cool tone pink. We also have, I think this one is Thusa, which I do think I want to pull in. No, that's Halley's Comet, which is from Terra Moons. Is this Thusa then? Maybe. Yeah. So I do want one of those two. Question is, which one do I prefer? Okay, I like them both. But I think the one that's better for this palette is Halley's Comet. Is brighter, which I think is from Valentine. So okay, so I'm really happy with the palette now. We have a brighter pink, we have a more mauve tone row, and I think what I'm going to do is more kind of a red tone row at the bottom, and I think I'm going to be happy with that. So let me look through my more red tone shades and see if I can find something for the last row. And again, I'm going to rearrange the kind of matching Cleona shades because I feel like they need to move around, but let me have a look. So first up, these two reds here are just talking to me. Question is, which one do I want to pull in? Okay, I got some sparkles in that shade. That's better. So I think I'm going to pull in this shade. It's a little bit more kind of pinky undertones, and this is the shade Sangre from Terra Moons. It's full of glitter now because I accidentally had some glitter on my finger, but that's fine. So that is the first shade. I do want to have more of a red tone shimmer, but the question is which one. So we have this shade here, which is definitely like a beautiful red tone. We also have this one, but I think this one is going to lean a little bit too orange. Actually, no. That one has like a pinkier red base. So both of those would work. We also have this shade here as a contender. That's less red though. I'm trying to decide which shimmer I like better. Okay, so you can see the palette here. So either that one or this one, but I think this one is the Shout because it's more true to color, not so orange, although I do love that shade. I think I'm going to go with Jupiter's Embrace from Terra Moons. But then we have one more spot to pick, and with other rows I had you know, another matte here. But do I want to pull that in? Maybe I should pull in like a deep red matte. Do I have anything like that? I don't know yet, but I will come back to this. But otherwise, I'm looking at this shade here. Would work nicely for like a lighter kind of red. More of a kind of orange leaning red though. But that is a contender for sure. But let me look at that palette and see what I can find in there. Also another contender is something like the shades up here, like a lighter pink shimmer like that. But then the question is, which one? So I like those shades too. I don't really have anything like that at the moment. Okay, that's a really pretty shade. This one here, that is from Terra Moons in Star Formation. I do really like that one, but it kind of breaks up the uniform row. But you know what? I really do like that shade in the palette. And it gives some variety too. What if I move this around, put this one here? Something like that. Is that better? I'm not sure. I just feel like that throws it off. But I do love that shade though. What about if I put in this shade instead? Would that make it better? No. I think I'm going to stick with it like this. I'm going to rearrange the palette a little bit and see what I get up. But I think these are going to be the shades that I want to include in the palette. Last little check though. Let's check this palette, which is all my cool tones. Don't need anything from there. And then we have the smaller palettes, but these are all more kind of warm tone shades, which I do not really feel like I want to pull in. No. Okay, so I'm happy with the palette. Let me just quickly rearrange it. Okay, I think I'm happy with this kind of structure. I was thinking about mixing these two up, but I'm happy with the way it looks. So that is my palette. Let me go ahead and swatch it out for you. They are here on my arm, so you can see them all swatched out. So from the top we have Embrace from Sydney Grace. We have Love Letter from the Pastel Roses. We have Desma from Divina. We have Sunbeam. This is the original Sunbeam from Cleona. We have Utopia from Terra Moons, I believe. Yes, Utopia from Terra Moons. We have Halley's Comet from Terra Moons. We have Terraverse from Terra Moons. And then here we have Lightfast from Cleona. That is one of the Series 3 iridescents. Moving on, we have Sangre from Terra Moons. We have Star Formation from Terra Moons. A lot of Terra Moons here. The next one here is also Terra Moons, and this is the shade Jupiter's Embrace. And then lastly, we have the shade Rosarium from Cleona, and that right there is my little Valentine's palette. So we have more of a kind of everyday quad right there, and more neutral tones, mauve tones. We have a brighter, pinker toned palette here in the center for those like Barbie pink kind of look, and then we have the more red tones here for more of a grungy look. So that is my kind of little palette with 3 color stories in one, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I thought it would be fun to share a little quick video like this, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Let me know what eyeshadows you're planning to wear for Valentine's. Are you doing a BYOP like I am, or are you reaching for a handmade palette? What are you going to wear if you haven't done your makeup already today? If you have, let me know what you wore on Valentine's. But that is it for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye, guys.